Oh wow, so many people have come online. I don't see you. Can you see my live feed? Okay, so I'm just searching for you. I just saw you, so do you want me to invite you now? All right, ciao.
Yeah, this is good. Great, awesome.
Hey, so I guess a lot
Hi.
of people are here.
Yeah, your voice is echoing, Rohit.
My voice is echoing.
Yeah,
Okay. Anyways, I'm just gonna be here for a short introduction, and then you can take over.
yeah. But then, is my voice echoing or is it okay?
No, no, your voice is proper. Your voice is proper.
Thank God for that.
All right. So we have a good amount of people online.
Hello,
So I'm just gonna.
everybody.
Hey everyone, welcome to the first edition of In the Spotlight with QSPL. We have today Mr. Kishore Tarachandani, organization head, owner, pioneer organization, and who's going to be talking about what's a game plan. I see a lot of people saying hello. So hello to everybody and
Hello,
welcome again.
everybody. Hi, everyone. I can see a lot of people. This is my first live feed. Never thought I'm going to do something like this, but this sounds exciting. Great.
All right, Kishore, so you can take over now.
All right. Thanks, Rohit. Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. Good evening. For the ones who know me, Kishore Tarachandani. The ones who don't know me, Kishore Tarachandani. Glad to be here. It's the first of its kind for me, but nevertheless, I was happy to be here. Most excited because of the fact that the lockdown is going to open up. Right? I hope everybody's safe and healthy, and everybody's taking care of themselves. I think it's all about going forward. It's all about going ahead from here. I think it's all opening up across the country. So it's important to get back to the business and plan for the future, which I'm sure quite a few people realize that the honeymoon is over. And let's get back to work, right? I know we went into lockdown at about, I would say about 10 weeks back, and we didn't know how long it's going to last. First, we were only like, probably it's going to be for a couple of weeks, and then we eventually realized that it's going to take a lot more time, week by week, when the extension started happening. But I think a lot of people who always felt that they needed a holiday on a Saturday, or they needed one extra holiday of a Sunday and get back to business on Tuesday. So God heard you. God listened to your voice, and He's like, so be it. In my childhood, I remember my mom used to tell me, just be careful of what you ask from God or from life, because if it comes true, God has His way of saying tathastu, which means so be it. So God gave you probably 52 holidays together, or probably more than 60, 70 holidays together, right, during this lockdown. So I know this whole lockdown and virus thingy was one of its kind, which none of us anticipated. And I think one thing we are very clear, that we have become more appreciative, about human life. And I think it's I think we've developed this whole attitude of gratitude, where we feel that we have started appreciating the small little things in life. And because we were so much busy in our daily life, running around doing our thing, so what happened was we kind of used to forget, or we stopped being grateful for a lot of things that we had in life. But I think this whole lockdown has really made us appreciate our parents, our family, the food that we have on our table every day, the roof above our head, the fact that we have a bed to sleep on, and something that we used to only listen to or probably have a quote that was passed on to us on a WhatsApp, right? And we used to forward it to other people, probably to get some more likes or get them to forward it to other people. But probably during this crisis, I think we realized that how appreciative we are about life, right? And I think it's a time to get back. It's time to basically realize that we have to come out there and start creating again. It's about living our life again, freeing ourselves from the thing that we were quarantined without, us giving permission to anybody. So we were told that you cannot come out of the house. And I know we would have all taken our chances to go out and buy stuff and go and hang out, but maybe we all had a little fear in ourselves that what if I catch this virus, or what if it happens to me? But I think, as they say, life is in the living, so we are all ready to go out there and live our life. There's a very famous dialogue which I usually talk to my people. I would like to say it in Hindi, right? Zindagi zinda dili ka naam hai, murda dil kya khak jiya karte hain, right? So I think the fact that we have now become zinda again, to come out there and start, working back with our guys, back on the field. I was on the field on Monday. I was like, we were talking about that now that everybody's going to be out there, owners have to be the first people to be on the field. Owner, organizational head, doesn't really matter. You got to be the first person to be on the field with your people to show that we are in it together. You know what I mean? So we have to carry on. Okay. So I think we're all ready. Okay. And I think not only for me, probably for a lot of us, this is another challenge that we will have to overcome. Okay. And we have had a lot of challenges and adversities that we have faced in the past. And I think most of us as human beings, that there's something within us which is not willing to give up. And in our heart we know somehow we will fight and we will come through. So I have, like most of us, on this call or in our business or in our industry, challenged myself, a lot of times over the years, considering being in the business for 22 years. I have challenged myself in different times, in different circumstances. Considering I worked in different cities across India, I was basically working with different clients, and I've gone through my set of challenges, and adversities. And I think most of us in our life, as we grew up or in business, whether you were on the field as a new guy, whether you were on the field as a trainer, whether you were on the field as a leader, and every other title or position that you achieved, we all have basically faced different kind of challenges, whether it's with customers, whether it's with observations, whether it's with our retrains, right? But somehow we have, learned to come out of it. You know what I mean? Sticktivity for a lot of people has been the secret of how they have come through. You know what I mean? And like everybody else, so I think it's sometimes maybe it's our ego in a way which kind of challenges us, or maybe sometimes it's our self-respect, that I have to come through. Sometimes it's our conscience, which probably, finds some spark in you and eventually creates that fire for you to go out and create. So I think being in the business for such a long time, working with, different situations, working with different industries, different challenges that basically I've, faced, the roller coaster ride that I've been through. I've always managed to come through like a lot of people, right? And in spite of, I think, all the chaos, I think I managed to compose myself, and learn through time, because I somewhere always felt, considering from the background that I come, I come from a working class family, middle class family, and I always wanted to do well in life. And, I have fought my way through in life as I was growing up as well in different circumstances, you know. But I think you still have to find that peace, that composure in spite of the chaos. And I think this is exactly what has happened, you know, to a lot of us during this COVID-19 situation, where we have actually gone out there and somewhere we have gathered that hope, you know, and we have basically managed to encourage ourselves to go out and do something. You know what I mean? So when the way I look at it is, it's time to find that composure in the chaos, right, and move forward. Okay, what's next? What is that you intend to do? What is that you want to really go out and create? You know, what's your plan going forward? What's your game plan, right? Do you have any blueprint of the plan? Because 2.5 months, you know, gone. June has already come. Before you say Jack, monsoon is going to get over, and you're going to be, you know, coming to the other festivals, and then it's going to be the end of the year, and it's going to be 2021. All right. Now 2020 is not going to come back again. You know, a lot of people I know had made a lot of plans in 2019 December. Okay, that 2020 is going to be a great year. It sounds 2020. You know, it's like IPL 2020. Some people also calculated 2 + 2, 4, my lucky number. You know, some people also said 2019 pata nahi kya tha, lekin 2020. All right, I will definitely pay my fees, all right, or something. You know what I mean? So people really made big plans for 2020. But you know, Corona had its own plan for us. You know, it basically got in 2019 and came into 2020 for us, right? But it doesn't really matter. You know, 2.5 months, things are over. Now we want to go forward and we want to basically create a lot for ourselves. You know what I mean? And it's very, very important that you make a plan, you know, because I always remember my mentor talking about the fact that if you fail to plan, you usually plan to fail. You know, it's like a man without a plan, or a man without, you know, aspiration or ambition is like a bird without wings. You know what I mean? So it's more about, if we want to go forward, we need to have a projection. We need to have a plan of how exactly we intend to go out and create for ourselves. Because if that thought starts running in your mind and then you put your action behind it, you will see things moving in your favor. You know what I'm trying to get at? So I think we all need to work towards a game plan. We need to have a blueprint. You know what I mean? And you know, there's another quote that I was reading the other day, that pray and move your feet, which means we all can pray, we can all expect things to happen, we can all aspire that things will change in our favor, but without your action, nothing's going to happen. Without us taking that step, nothing's going to basically move in your direction. You know, as they say, fortune favors the brave. So it's very, very important for us to go out there and create a lot for ourselves. No venture, no gain. So we have to venture. So the other day when I was on the field, I was out there to venture what's happening. Though hardly around 8-10% things were open, but we still managed to give few presentations. I was out there working with one of my leaders. And we were out there having fun, talking to people on the street, you know, because I know for sure that if I am putting my efforts behind my aspiration, my ambition, my expectation, I will definitely see results, for sure. So it's like a bridge, you know, that you want to make, or when you see a construction site, or whenever you see, you know, these big structures that have been created, obviously it was a thought in someone's mind, and then they believed that they can do it, and they went out and made a blueprint out of it, right? And over a period of time, they eventually, you know, made a plastic model, and then a structure was created. That's exactly how our business works. You know what I mean? That when you have a plan, when you have a blueprint, you visualize things, you start believing that you can do it, you put your action behind it, and then you see things happening. It becomes easier when you have a plan, you have a clarity. There is a direction. Okay, and that's very, very important. Okay, the fact that we are a direct sales and marketing business, we specialize in face-to-face marketing, and we have always believed that this is the way, the best way to actually take the product or a service to the end consumer, right? And we all had our plans before the lockdown. We had all our plans, what we had made, whether to get promoted into leadership or true leadership, executive true leadership or ownership, whatever plans you had made, where your financial plans are concerned, your recruitment plans, your progression plans, your criteria that you wanted to do, right? We were all very, clear of what we wanted to do, but we didn't know this is going to come about. You know what I mean? But it's fine. It's over. Every adversity brings in a lesson. I always believe there's always an opportunity in a calamity. You know what I mean? So we should always look forward how exactly we're going to go about, going forward from here. Okay. But then this lockdown came about, okay, and the coronavirus compelled us to find new ways of doing things, in order to generate revenue, okay? And even, we also figured out ways of recruiting people, okay? Now, I remember, Tony Fernandez, the country had talking about that going forward, we will also try telecalling. So everybody in the back of their mind thought, but we are into direct sales face to face, then what are we talking about telecalling? Telecalling is something that we never looked upon, or we always used to never encourage telecalling, or we used to in fact talk about how we're not a telecalling business. We're basically a direct sales business. We go and do events, we do campaigns, we do road shows, we do corporate presentations, and we were so proud of it. We were so proud of going out there and doing face-to-face marketing, irrespective of the fact that when you first came in, you never thought of actually, going out on the field and talking to people. You didn't even think of, going out door to door or business to business, but you mastered it, right? And it was so ingrained within us that we never knew that we will get into telecalling, right? And I remember when first it was discussed about telecalling, we were all skeptical. We were like, what are we talking about telecalling, right? We've never done something like this before. How are we going to do telecalling, okay? And when it started, and I could see the momentum, gathering, and I could see how we had results coming through from everywhere. You know what I mean? So we said, okay, let's give it a shot, right? And we came through. We came through in a big way, okay? Then we were like, okay, what do we do about recruitment? Because initially we thought it's only a couple of weeks, and we will do our thing, we will carry on, and eventually it's going to open up. We will go out there and we will get back to face-to-face marketing. We will start recruiting people, and then we realize it's not getting over. Week after week, lockdown 1, lockdown 2, lockdown 3, lockdown 4, it's going on and on, all right? But then we eventually figured out how we can go out and recruit through Zoom, right? The only Zoom we knew was the Zoom TV. And suddenly we got introduced to Zoom, a new way of video conferencing, right? So we found new ways, you know what I mean? So eventually, and that's what we need to understand, that, because we tried new things, we came through, okay? And I remember, one of the guys asking me with a lot of hesitation that we are into face-to-face marketing, then how come suddenly telecalling? We specialize in face-to-face marketing. So I remember telling that guy, we specialize in flexibility. We specialize in adaptation. In these changing times, we specialize in doing whatever it takes to come through, so we can look after our people and we can look after our business. So it's going to be the survival of somebody who's going to adapt, right? I was listening to one of the videos, right? And it said, it's no more survival of the fittest. It's going to be the survival of the quickest, right? So I also have eventually come to the terms, it's going to be the survival of the person and people who are going to adapt to new things and start implementing. You know what I mean? So looking at the situation now, look around, when you see what's going on. Everywhere we are hearing about people losing jobs. Yeah, people are not getting paid. A lot of them are getting paid half the salary or quarter salary. A lot of them basically have been laid off. A lot of them have been retrenched. They've been asked to leave the business, leave companies. Now, it's sad, but on the other hand, the way I look at it also is that we can recruit a lot of people. I'm not saying I'm going to recruit the whole world. I'm not trying to be a world savior. But the way I look at it is, as an owner, as an organization head, from a deal office point of view, from organization point of view, I intend to recruit a lot of people. My leaders, my other owners in the organization, they intend to basically recruit a lot of people. You know what I'm trying to get at? So we are not restricted anymore. Now, I may not be the solution for the unemployment in the country, but I may be a solution to a certain extent for a lot of people to get an opportunity what we have here today. You know what I'm trying to get at? So I think it's very important that we go out there and we really work towards recruiting a lot of people. Okay. Now, when you talk about recruitment, we have opportunities to recruit through social media. We have opportunities to recruit through different channels. Our friend circle, our contacts. A lot of PRs were done during this time. I think across the country, in spite of the lockdown, we have ended up recruiting approximately 600 to 700 people. All right, between all the organizations put together, when I look at only my Bombay offices, we have recruited only with about 7-8 offices. We have recruited in excess of 60 to 70 people. All right, and likewise, I know there are different organizations across India who have recruited so many people. Okay, so I think this calamity gave us an opportunity to find out how we can recruit through Zoom, through online. This has given us an opportunity to recruit a lot of personal recruits. I think it's the first time ever in the history of this business we have had most amount of recruitment in spite of not opening offices. You know what I mean? So this also gives a clear understanding to everybody involved that you have the opportunity to go out there and completely control your progression, your growth. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Okay, the telemarketing, the telecalling. A lot of us have mastered this whole telecalling, okay? And we intend to make it as one of our parallel business, along with face-to-face marketing. Now we can recruit from everywhere in the country. You can be in your home city, and you can basically go out and recruit anywhere in the country. You can create work from home opportunities for a lot of people, right? Irrespective of the age group, as far as they are adult. You know what I mean? You can recruit people. You can basically recruit people who want to work from home. You can recruit women who cannot basically leave their house. You know what I mean? The women who have responsibilities looking after their children or their household activities, or housewives, but you can recruit them, So earlier, what used to happen was we were very specific and particular about how we're going to be recruiting, right? We used to only majorly, control, everything was controlled by our owner or the HR, and everything was basically limited to the recruitment through, our portals. But now it's no more a limit. You can go out there and be limitless. As far as you're fearless, you can be limitless. But if you're going to think about what society is going to think, what this guy is going to think, what that guy is going to think, you're not going to get anywhere. All right? So I think it's important for us to realize that telecalling is going to be one of our major factors. Recruitment is going to be one of our major factors through Zoom. Leaders can now recruit. They don't have to be at the mercy of the owner or the HR, whether you can be this observation I can't relate to you, so I can't give you, or this I don't think this guy is good for you, I will get somebody else for you. You can do your own personal recruiting. You can get people, as many as you want. You know what I'm trying to get at? So ultimately, you're in control of what you want to do, right? When it comes to your recruitment planning, when it comes to your sales planning, you're no more limited to that, okay, I will go on the field and create sales. You can do that, but on the weekends, you can sit at home and make calls. You know what I mean? You can make calls from home on the weekend and make extra revenue. And we have seen this across the divisions, right? How people are making some serious amount of money through telecallings, right? So I think the way I look at it is it's going to be, going forward, it's going to be a very different situation, right? We were talking to one of our mentors the other day, and we were talking about how you cannot let 2.5 months of this lockdown ruin your future. All right. So it's very important to make your plans going forward. All right. Now, exactly what you want to do. What's your plan for this month of June? What's your plan going forward for the next quarter, July, August, September? What's your plan for October, November, December? All right. Because at the end of the day, it's all opening up now. All right. It's all coming through. Phase by phase, everything's going to open. We will have people working from home. We will have people working from the office, telecalling. We will have basically people going on the field. We will also basically have people, directly going from home to the office. The people who used to usually give us excuses that it's monsoon, it's raining, I can't come to the office. Don't come to the office. You know what I mean? I will do a Zoom training for you on a Zoom call, and you can directly hit the field and just report me in the evening. How did your day go? What was your sales all about? I'm trying to get at. So now there's a lot of opportunities to go out there and create. Eventually, for the ones who are really looking at making it happen. All right. So do not limit yourself. It's up to you how fast you want to get promoted as a leader into executive crew leader or a crew leader, as an assistant owner. All right. You can have 5 to 7 people, working from home in your team. You can have around 8 to 10 people getting on the field. You can have basically 5 to 7 people working from the office telecalling, right? So you're no more restricted to 15 to 20 people on your team. You know what I mean? You can go out there and you can completely have control of your progression, your growth, how fast you want to go out there and run your business. You know what I'm trying to get at? So it's time now to really go out there and do not limit yourself. It's okay if you fail, if you tried, it did not work out, try again. It's time to be a good student, right? It's time to learn from whoever you can, all right? Do not have that pride that I can't learn from other people, right? Over the years, I have never restricted myself from learning from other people, even in that matter, if I had to learn from people who I have trained, because there were times where they've done better than me. So I went and learned from those people, all right? So take out the ego, take out the pride, you know what I mean? And be a good student and learn from people who are doing really well for themselves. You know what I'm trying to get at? Because as they say, it's better to be humble and rich than to be proud and poor. So money in your bank is more important than the ego in your heart. I hope that makes sense, right? Anyway, these times, we have a lot of different ideas that we have come up with. It didn't really matter where it came from, okay? We had our reservations, but we also went out and implemented. All right. We also took initiative. We tried different things. Some things worked, some things did not work, but we eventually figured out there's lots that could be done. All right. So we eventually have figured out how we're going to go forward, recruiting people, training people. Whether you're working from home, whether you're working from office, whether you're recruiting in the city, whether you're recruiting outside, not from people who are not from your home city. You can still train them, because we are coming up with this new platform where it's going to be like a sales mate, where we're going to have different videos on different impacts, different meetings, sales impacts, motivational morning meetings, trainings, induction trainings, 5 steps, 8 steps, law of averages, where you do not have to limit yourself to actually doing things yourself. You can actually have your, all that as an e-learning process from videos that can be actually run on Zoom calls, or it could be sent across to people with a certain passcode where they go through that video and learn everything, all right? So opportunities for people who are optimistic, who are willing to give it a go, who are willing to give their best shot is definitely there. All right, but it's important to have a plan. It's important to basically look at what exactly you intend to do. What's your sales goal? And it's no more, the people who you were giving excuses that I'm waiting for the field. I would say basically, if you want to go on the field, please, everything is opening up. You can go on the field. You don't want to go on the field, sit in the house, get into telecalling and make your money. So there's no more restriction for people. All right, but it's important that everybody has a plan, everybody has a projection, everybody knows where exactly they're heading towards. Because only when you have a massive action plan of how you want to go forward, you will see not only you, but everybody. So if you're an owner, all your people will be clear about where they're heading towards. If you're a leader, people on your team will be clear about where they're heading towards. I hope that makes sense, right? So at the end of the day, I only would like to basically talk about, it's important for all of us to realize that, we are all out there today. And when we look at things, when we look at situations, how things are going, how things have gone up, how things have shaped around this whole COVID-19, okay? 2.5 months, we have learned a lot, we have developed a lot of skills, we have upscaled ourselves, and now is the time to go out and come back to the real world and create more and more, right? In the end, there's only one thing I want to basically talk to people, that during this times, a lot of people were a little worried about their future. A lot of people were basically talking about, I don't know what's my future, what's going to happen, all right? And I was in conversation, with somebody the other day, and I was like, future is today, all right? Because whatever you did before lockdown, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year before lockdown, whatever you did, all right? All that manifested, eventually all that came to pass during this last 2, 3 months, 3, 4 months, right? So whether you were, feeling the pinch or a little financial crunch, that was because maybe you did not put enough efforts before the lockdown, right? And if you basically felt the pleasure of enjoying everything during the lockdown, maybe because you did all the right things. You know what I'm trying to get at? So instead of bothering about the future, let's think about today. What is that we can do? How we can move forward from here, okay? And all the effort that you put in today, all the effort you put in during these times, whether it's telecalling effort, whether it's recruitment effort, training people on Zoom calls, training basically people on sales and everything else on a day-to-day basis, all that is eventually going to have an effect in a month from now, in 2 months, in 3 months, and 6 months from now. So everything that you did in the past, you're experiencing it today. Everything you do today, you'll experience in the future. I hope you understand. So don't wait for the future. Future is today, and that's how we go forward. Thank you. That's all I wanted to talk about.
Okay, great. Thanks, Kishore. Thanks a lot for your for your wonderful words. So now, right now, we're going to get into some of the questions that we've received.
There's a lot of echo.
Okay, can you hear me now?
No, I can hear you, but there's... okay, go on. Please tell me.
Okay, so we've got a few questions from the attendees. I'm just going to read them out to you, and you can choose to answer them.
Yeah.
All right. So the first question we have is, how do you build confidence for telecalling, and how to motivate my team for telecalling?
What I did was basically I was motivating my people. I was talking to them about telecalling, though I had a lot of skepticism, about telecalling in the first place. But then I was talking to people about it, and somewhere I was not at peace with myself because I was only talking to people about it. So what I did was I picked up the phone and I started calling. I started calling and I faced few rejections. And I faced rejections and I felt like giving up. But then I was like, if I am going to talk to my people that they have to do telecalling, then I have to basically go out and do it myself first. So I had to really have this conversation with myself. And I picked up the phone again and I started telecalling and I closed deals, right? I closed 7 to 8 deals myself after doing 12 to 15 calls, right? I closed 7 to 8 deals myself, and then I felt very confident to talk to my people about it. Because our business is about performance. Our business is about not telling people, it's showing people. It's not thinking, it's about doing. So I did it myself. Like I said, that it was my self-respect, it was my conscience, it was my ego, that if I'm telling something to my people, I got to do it myself. So when I did it, I saw a lot of traction happening in the business and with quite a few owners, in the region as well. Peace with myself because I did the calls and I made it happen. It was easier to talk to people.
All right. So we have a question from Anurag Mukherjee. How do I consistently fill out forms on the field post-lockdown?
How do I consistently fill out forms?
Fill out forms on the field post the lockdown.
Post the lockdown.
Yes.
So in all reality, like I said earlier as well, when we go out, we'll know exactly what's going on. We are not like the other day I was on the field and I was also like, I will go out and take over. But I realized that I did not have a lot of people to go and pitch to. Now, post the lockdown, as we start going out, there will be a lot of different situations that we will experience. All right, we will also have to maintain social distancing. We will have to be very particular about how we are traveling, how we are going about things. All right, in different places. So what we are going to be doing here, which we've already done actually now, that we have taken a lot of permission from societies. So we have got a lot of society permissions where we're going to be running our campaigns. We're going to be running our road shows with 2 to 3 people, at the most 3 people, where there will be proper social distancing maintained. And we have lists of societies where we have taken permissions from, and we're going to be doing our campaigns over there. So that's one way of doing it. Second, the telecalling business is still going to be on, right? So we will have people working during the day, and then in the evening for probably 2 to 3 hours, they will still be involved in telecalling. So that's the game plan we have made of how exactly we intend to go. So initially, ideally the first half, people will be on the field, and second half, we will be involved with telecalling. So just to see what kind of responses we get, from the market, from the field, and at the same time, we're not only at the mercy of the field, we are also basically doing telecalling. So we have sales coming from both the ends. That's the plan going forward.
Okay, so we have a question from Mohini asking, what do you do if you're not getting results? What do you do if you're not getting results?
If you don't get results, I take a break for 5 minutes and I start again. Whether I was on the field, that's what I used to do. And now during telecalling also, when I used to get necked out, I used to basically take a break for some time and again get on calls. Whenever I used to obviously find time. But take a break, have a glass of water, feel good about yourself and start again. Talk to somebody who's going to be more excited than you are. Right? So at least you take your focus off for some time and then get back again. But again, as I said, that results will come. I believe if somebody goes out and gives 100 presentations, 100 good presentations over a period of a week, 10 days, they will really master this whole telecalling sales. 100 presentations we are talking about.
Okay, so here's an important question that we have from Sanjeev. How do we do good orientation to the new guys as we are not able to show the business and sales as colorful as before?
Sorry, I didn't get that. You'll have to repeat that question.
So the question is, how do we take a good orientation of the new guys if we are not able to show our business and sales as we were able to do it before? Like earlier, we you used to take on the field and show how good the business is doing. You do a good orientation through a practical show. Now, how do we do that now?
Yes. So when we are doing the orientation, currently what we are doing, basically, we are talking to people and we are telling them what our core competence was before the lockdown. And then we spoke to them about the fact that how we are now working towards telecalling and we are mastering telecalling. So we're going to basically show you exactly how it is done. But yes, it will take time for you to start getting results for the same. Because we also took some time to get results because we were also not sure how telecalling is going to work. So you'll have to be very honest. You'll have to be open about it. And once you have mastered it, okay, it will be easier to train that guy. And if you think you are still falling short or you're basically taking time, you can always use another high roller, another leader who's doing well. You can basically take that person's help to retrain your guy.
Perfect. Another question.
One more thing. Do not feel shy. It's okay if you're not able to show sales, right? None of us basically initially also in the business when we started, we could do it so easily, but we mastered it over a period of time. And then we learned how to do it. You know what I mean? So telecalling is the same. We are going to get better and better with every passing day. All right? So take help from people if you're not become good at it yourself.
Great. So we have another question. How do you build confidence for telecalling? And how do I motivate my team for telecalling?
Again, it's something similar to what I told earlier as well. You'll have to basically make more and more calls. You'll have to make more and more calls. You'll have to basically get the pitch. You'll have to get the pitch ready. You'll have to basically do mirror pitching first. And when you're talking to the person on the phone, you have to still visualize that the person is right in front of you. right? You have to be complete because a lot of times when we are doing telecalling, we are more conscious, right, about what the customer is going to say, or we are conscious about, oh, is somebody watching me, you know. But it's important that you're completely, you know, focused and you're visualizing that the person is right in front of you. The only answer is law of averages, which will make your law of conversion better over a period of time.
Correct. So, in addition to that, a lot of one of the people said that I feel rejected, or even and then even my team feels rejected.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
So, in continuation, that there's another part of the question that says, what do I do if I'm feeling rejected? What do I do if I'm feeling rejected, or my team is feeling rejected?
This is post lockdown when we start going on the field.
No, in telecalling, the continuation to telecalling,
Yeah.
motivation in terms of rejections. So how do I take care of rejections?
Again, the thing is basically we used to get rejections on the field, and we obviously learn how to handle those objections, right? Similarly, when we are out there talking to people, because it's the first time, right? We also, like, even I got rejections saying that no, I'm not interested, or saying that no, I'm already totally covered because I was pitching for insurance. I'm totally covered, right? Initially, even I was not confident about how to handle those rejections, right? I gave my pitch to the best possible extent based on my experience. But then, when we were doing calls every single day, there used to be a lot of brainstorming on how to handle objections, how to basically handle rejections from different people on telecalling. And slowly and gradually, we learned how to deal with that also. So the more training calls you attend on how to handle rejections and objections, you will eventually master it, right? And you don't have to, obviously initially you feel upset and you feel bad that how this person said was so rude to me, or why did this person say what he said to me like this, whatever. But eventually, I also went out there, spoke to people who were already, doing really well with telecalling. And I asked them the same kind of, or I probably gave them the same rejection, and I got the answers from them. And then I started using that over the phone. So eventually you'll have to learn from people who are already doing well and who have already got better in telecom.
All right, perfect. All right, thank you, Kishore. Thank you for your time. So that brings us to the end of this conversation and to the end of the session.
Thank you.
It was pleasure having you here. I hope we've been able to answer as many questions as possible. Sorry if you missed out on
Yes.
some,
But then
but
I'm always
definitely.
available on the phone in case people want to basically access me. People can call me up. There's absolutely no challenge where that's concerned. Things are only getting more and more exciting. And I'm glad. I'm glad I got this opportunity to talk to everybody. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining in. Stay tuned to our page and follow our page. We'll be back with another speaker next week, next Friday again. So see you all then. Bye bye. Take
Thank you,
care, all of
everybody.
you all.
Stay safe. All the best.
Stay
Thank you so
safe.
much.
Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you, sure.
Thank you.